shift from founder to funder about 10 years ago. And you talk about building a company with co-founders is hard. Raising a fund is the hardest thing you will ever do. Because if you think about it, when you're raising money for a company, you usually have some type of minimum viable product and an idea of product market fit, in and around some type of business model. You need to prove it out. And there are investors at all types of stages that will maybe consider that. Generally speaking, I'm not even gonna get into the statistics of, there are only 40 black women on the planet that have ever raised over $1 million in seed capital. I know most of them, there are probably not even 100 black men and women that have raised over $1 million, about 10 that have done Series A. So there's a huge gap when you talk about access to capital for high growth startups. But when you raise a fund around a general, thesis of investing and an idea of where potentially portfolio company, they're like, Negro, you crazy. Like, seriously. And that's why when you look at, like all the GPs out there of color that have actually successfully raised, when you talk to them and we have these conversations, it's literally like going to be the game changer. The baseline, we were having this conversation before we came out about buy black, right? Literally, you can't even survive just buying black. Even if you went to a black restaurant, you don't know where the farm, you don't know where the food came from. The guru was talking about this, and Commission, DJ Commission's here too, give it up to DJ Commission. It starts with cap tables at the end of the day. And like, even when the young man asked about, are you talking equity? Like really, I don't know everyone's age in the room. You all look very young. Even the mature people look young as well. That's right, black don't crack. It don't though, bruh, straight up. It don't. But everything should be about equity and getting on cap tables. But you gotta know what a cap table is, like the ownership table of a company. You go do some work on someone's app, don't just try to get work for hire, get equity. Get as much equity in companies as you can. I was at breakfast this morning, one of my board members, Judy Robinette is here. Wave your hand, Judy. Judy's got a new book coming out about hacking the capital code of raising capital. And like the trillions of dollars that actually exist on this planet that moves in the private markets. I'm not talking about banks, I'm not talking about CDFIs and debt, I'm talking about equity. And if you think about it, last year there was over $100 billion in non-recourse equity capital that mostly went to white males in this country, okay? Then next was white females in this country. And I'm just giving statistics and data. I'm not picking on anybody in the room. Just giving statistics and data, okay? And when you look at those numbers, and the only thing we think about is when we have a company, I wanna own 100% of it. I ain't giving nobody no equity. Well, 100% of nothing is nothing, and less than 3% of Microsoft is Bill Gates. And so you gotta understand how the capital, I know we're talking about coding and getting a skill, but eventually if you wanna turn that skill into wealth, you gotta get in somebody's high growth startup and get you some equity and then start your own, and then also start investing. So in addition to learning these skills, you need to understand the capital dynamics related to how companies are built and sold and acquired. And that's why Mark Zuckerberg has more wealth than every NBA player from Larry Bird to LeBron James. It's because somebody taught this kid what cap table was and what equity was, and he played that game. Play the game, learn those rules, but at the same time, we also have to understand as people of color, those rules don't always apply to us. So we need some innovation. The Jobs Act, equity crowdfunding, you need to study that. I've been studying security tokens. I've invested in 2 blockchain startups. But at the end of the day, cooperative economics where there's no equity, like just a pure barter system just allows us to survive. There's gotta be some ownership and exchange and equity at some point in the game if you're gonna build wealth, until you got enough wealth to change the capitalistic game. Or you're gonna find yourself isolated from capitalism and on the fringes, but you better have a whole lot of money on the fringes. I'll pass that.